YouTube, Clint from Texas again. I'm making another video about scorpions. You remember last time we talked about the Asian forest scorpion, which was my pick for a good first or beginner scorpion if you're new to the hobby. And one of the reasons being, of course, is its very docile nature and the fact that it's not terribly toxic in terms of its venom. Its sting is not very potent. This is what you would consider a 1 out of a 5. And just sort of a basic form of rating. The next logical progression that I would recommend would be something like the Tanzanian Red Claw Scorpion, like you see here. And if you're going to handle hot species of scorpion, or in other words, particularly venomous and scorpions with very painful sting, then you should probably practice with one of these. And one of the reasons being is because they're considerably more aggressive. In fact, you can see that both of these creatures are in threat posture, and it takes very little. They're very skittish, but again, they're not terribly toxic if you're not allergic to bee stings and things of that nature. And also, their sting is not all that bad. But as you can see, they're fairly aggressive. In fact, as you can see, the little girl here is pretty jumpy. She stung me under the fingernail the other day, and boy, that felt really good. I also dropped her 2 crickets, and she caught one on the fly and stuck it in her mouth. The other one hit the ground, walked about 2 steps. She picked it up, and she was stuffing one in her mouth with each hand. I called this one, the little male here, Playa, because I bought him for breeding stock, and lo and behold, when I put the male and the female together, they were together about 5 seconds before they went into the scorpion mating dance. So I'm hoping that this will actually result in some offspring. But again, you know, this is a really nice scorpion. I like them because they look very similar to the emperor scorpion, which is a scorpion that I'd, hope to acquire one day. In fact, they're of the same genus. They're the Pandinus and the species Cavimanus, the binomial Latin naming system that we get from Carl Linnaeus, who was a Swedish botanist. And he's responsible for a lot of the taxonomy that we have of animals and plants, insects, things of that nature. As you can see, again, these are not just terribly aggressive as far as scorpions go, but a little more so. So like I say, if you're going to handle hot species, it would be a good idea to start with something like this so that you don't get in way over your head. Now, I'm not suggesting that you handle hot species, or in fact any species of scorpion or venomous creature of any type. But if you're going to, then you should take it in steps, I think, so that you learn their behavior, so you learn how they react, so that you can protect yourself against what could be a potentially harmful encounter with one of your animals. I love these because if you look at the size of the claws on this thing, they're just enormous. They also have a very waxy appearance. They almost look like they're made out of wax. They're real shiny, and they have these real heavy legs. They have a very tiny telson, but they're pretty quick to use it, and they're just a neat scorpion. As you can see, these are a little darker than some of the other ones that I have. One thing you notice if they start to climb, a lot of times they'll use their claws. You can see he's kind of using his claws to get a grip here. They'll get their claws and they'll pull their way up. And one of the reasons that I even have red claw scorpions is because I was trying to buy a emperor scorpion, and the first company sent me a red claw scorpion. The second company that I ordered a scorpion, supposedly emperor scorpion from, sent me an Asian forest scorpion. So I finally, after having spent about $300 trying to acquire one, just sort of gave up on that proposition. But since the sort of the next closest thing is the Red Claw Scorpion, I ordered these from Underground Reptiles, so I really want to thank all of the guys and gals at